Old photos hold powerful memories, but can also be a big part of the clutter you find in your home as you look to downsize, right-size, or just organize.
We have done several videos on downsizing, right-sizing, and all that, and the same question keeps coming up from everyone. What do we do with our old photos? And you know what? We're in the same boat.
When Mark's parents moved to a care facility late in their life, they left behind a whole house for us to clean out with his siblings. It was a monumental task, topped off with 15 moving boxes of just photos.
So my sister and brother said to me, what are we going to do with the photos? My sister said, throw them out. I said, no, we're not throwing them out. I'll take them. I went to, I don't know,
and
Walmart.
by I'll take them, you meant we'll take them.
Yeah, Walmart or whatever it was, and got those big clear plastic tubs.
From the Container Store.
15 tubs of pictures we have.
Just loose pictures.
Well, no, they're in those little paper envelopes. The negatives are in there. My mother used to always get 3 copies of every photo. I mean, it's ridiculous. But I can't throw them out, right?
Well, to be honest, many of them were duplicates as we started to look through them. A lot of them were out of focus, old and tattered, but they were full of memories and they were stashed away and no one was actually sharing them.
No. So today we're going to give you some options, some of the things that we looked at, that we're doing to help you figure out a way to be able to throw the photos out, but save them too at the same time.
Save the memories.
Save the memories, you know.
You know, it always seems like we're picking on your mom or your dad, and I don't mean picking on, but those are a lot of the stories we share. My mom
Those are good stories.
They are great stories.
You can talk about your mom's slides?
My mom had 300 slide cartridges, each with 100 per slide, per reel. Not pictures, slides. My brother and I were like, oh my God, what are we going to do with them?
When I first met you...
Who wants them?
When I first met you, we went to your mom's house to see, you said, you want to look at the slides? And your brother like, no.
Just say no.
So we're down there in the basement. Click, 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 click,
and the reel goes...
click, click, click. It was so funny.
300 times 100 per reel.
Yeah.
So my brother and I were like, what do you want to do with them? You know, when my mom passed. And luckily for me, he grabbed them and he locked them away in his basement.
He's done nothing with them.
I know.
But the problem is that now, between your family's photos and mine and all the ones in my phone, I mean, it's overwhelming, and it can be overwhelming. So what do we do?
You know, over time, though, we started to find ourselves thinking of memories and remembering a photo, but then also worrying about these photos, right? Would they be lost in the event of a house fire or a hurricane or, you know, an ice or snow event where the roof collapsed, right? We're realizing that these photos are actually important to us and important to kind of our history. So we decided to embark upon this idea of digitizing images.
And it's a work in progress.
We're definitely not done.
We're not done. We're starting, but we also, I think we have some good tips for you today, because it really would be cool for all of us to be able to look back, go to an online album, or maybe print some paper albums and be able to share that with our kids.
Yeah, so we did some research and found a few excellent places and options and a process that we've started to go through that we want to share with you today. And by no means are we finished.
So we knew there was work to be done, and you know, our kids don't want boxes of pictures.
Yeah, but it's funny. They don't want it, but they don't want us to get rid of it.
Yeah, right.
So it's this kind of strange thing, right?
So we decided we're going to start digitizing photos. So here's a couple things you need to do first. First, you got to get them out, organize them, and sort them. Which ones do you really want to keep? I mean, that's probably the most important thing. And you have to be courageous and say, you know what? There's 6 pictures of my...
Uncle Jack.
Well, 6 pictures of my 3rd grade graduation.
Okay.
I only need 1.
Right.
Right?
But
There's
I would
6
say...
pictures of my 6th birthday or 12th birthday. Pick one.
But I would say you have to start organizing them a little bit based on, you know, events, and then maybe by people, and then determine which ones are valuable,
Well,
right? So it's a multi-step process just to organize and prioritize.
So there's 200 pictures of the 4th of July when I was 12
Right.
years old. What's the 1 or 2 pictures you need? So again, it's a hard decision
and if you have
to make.
siblings, you should ask them what are the 1 or 2 pictures they need,
You know,
right?
the other thing that we're doing is I got shoe boxes, and if I see a bunch of pictures from my cousins or something, the pictures go in there. I'm going to mail them to them, and they
that's
can
a good
have
idea.
them. Yeah.
The last thing you really need to do is to, you know, prepare the photos before you get to digitize them, right? You have to clean them a little bit with a soft brush or, even some compressed air, removing dust and debris, because a lot of places we investigated won't take them if they're sticky or if they're stuck together. If they're not going to want to damage them, they want you to actually clean and prepare them. We did find that out.
Right. So we need to find a scanning service. That was the thing. And we've done a lot of research and we looked at reviews and everything else. But, it's taken us a while. I think we have a pretty good list, which we share with you at the end. But there's things like, and maybe if you're a different part of the country or overseas, these won't work for you. But you got to look at the company and how they do it. How do they package? How do they ship it? How do they update you? Do you do it all online? What would be the best company for our needs to pick?
Yeah, and you also have to take a look at what form the service will receive the media in. That was a big one on a couple of ones that I called. Do they want them in shoe boxes? Do they want only in groups of 10 or 20? Can you just ship them an entire moving box that you've already gone through?
Do you want them by year or something like that? Otherwise, you just get these things all back and they're a mess. So it's a lot of work to do, and their websites are pretty good to give you some.
They are. And again, we'll tell you some companies at the end that we investigated. The next thing to do is to check out their customer service reviews, which is something that we did on each of the companies that we'll recommend. Look at the positives and look at the complaints, and along with the product reviews, look at things like, how's the photo resolution?
Yeah, because you have choices.
You do.
Do you want 300 DPI or 600 or 800? Do you want them on a video? Do you want them individually? Do you want them online? So there's a lot to look into, because you don't want to go through this whole effort and then not use what you get.
Right. You also want to check the security and privacy. Like, how do they hold your photos? And are they shareable? And
do you get them back?
Piece.
And do you really want them back? Because that gives you the same problem you started with.
The next step really is to look at a few different vendors and try them out.
Yeah,
and that's kind of where we are now. We've picked a few vendors, and we're going to send maybe 25 photos or so to each vendor, and we're going to take a look at the ordering process, the customer support, how quickly can the projects be finished, and how well are the originals packaged and preserved, and what did it look like when it came back to us?
Right.
And I think that's a really good way to test all the different vendors.
And to test, do they come back organized, all of that. So I think it's just, you really need to try it, which is really, I think, what you're trying to say.
Yeah, just testing
Don't just pick one and send everything. Try it and see if you're happy with the results.
So after researching and doing a little test trials, we've boiled down to a few services, 4 in fact, that met the requirements that we wanted, with effective storage and preservation of the current photos, as well as, the digitized.
And we put them in links below. One of them is My Pics, EverPresent. There was one, Memories Renewed, and Scan My Photos.
And Scan My Photos was.
And there's so many more, but those are 4 that we came up with, and we don't have any relationship with them, and we're not suggesting one's better than the other.
And we're still testing them.
Well, those are the 4 that we're working with right now, and it's really important, and it really has. It's come up a lot in the videos that we do on downsizing and decluttering your house and all that, because our homes are filled with all of these pictures. And the other thing is,
memories, though,
which we didn't talk about and we need to, was the old videos.
Oh yeah,
my
family wasn't big video people.
Yeah, you were the click.
We were slides.
But I've got tons of old videos in 3 different formats. Remember VHS, and then there was compact VHS and everything else. Those need to be, and those I'm really worried about sending away, because I'm not even sure. I wonder if we should do a local company with that, where actually walk in and do it. But anyway, the 4 companies we come up with are below. We hope that you enjoyed this video. It's a complicated, very personal,
emotional
topic to figure out what to do with the pictures. But if you liked it, you're going to love this next video called Declutter, and how to declutter your house, what our process was, setting a time frame, and what to do with sentimental items besides just photos. So watch this one next.